Hello, homemakers. Welcome to the Nebraskan Wife. If you're new here, please check out my channel. I would love to have you join me. Today we're doing Make Ahead Monday. We're making roasted nuts or candied nuts, whatever you call it, depends on where you're from. This is one of our favorite treats in this household. It's a great source of an alternative protein, especially in times like this when our grocery stores seem to be not quite as stocked as we would all love them to be. So I hope you join me, enjoy this treat, and if you make it, please let me know. You can tag me on Instagram at the Nebraskan Wife, or you can find me on Facebook. Please let me know. Homemakers. Okay, so today I am going to make our family a little treat, if I can do this without like messing it up. I'm going to make some candied nuts or roasted nuts. You know, we fell in love with this. Oh, hello, Pika. Hello. Oh, she's being lovey today. We loved having this when we went to New York. And I tell you, for the longest time, I could not figure out how to make this dang recipe for my husband. He loved it. I loved it. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm separating egg whites. You can just go between the shell like I'm doing just to get it out. This recipe only requires 2 egg whites. So, this is our favorite recipe. Normally it's like pecans or almonds or things like that. What I have is... Hold that up. Okay. So, I don't know if some of you have looked at the price of different nuts and things like that. Almonds are usually the most affordable, or actually I guess peanuts are probably more affordable, depending where you are. Well, I like cashews. Those are my favorite. My husband prefers pecans. I don't mind pecans, but I don't necessarily want to eat a whole thing of pecans. So for us, our bulk section, it's actually cheaper for us to get, what is this called? It's just like a going nuts, mixed nuts type of thing. This one has a mixture of all of them. So it has quite a bit of pecans, almonds, peanuts, cashews. I think there's even some pistachios in there. It's just a cheaper nut mix for us because, I mean, you don't have to break the bank doing this, just whatever's cheapest. If you find something on sale, totally do that. So for this recipe, pretty basic. You need about 1 pound of nuts. I'm doubling my recipe because I'm making about 2 pounds worth because, trust me, you're going to want 2 pounds worth. Let's see what else. It takes, for a simple recipe, it is going to do 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg white, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1 pound of your nut of choice. I'll link that below there too. It's pretty simple. You mix all the wet ingredients, you throw the nuts in, make sure it's covered, throw it in a pan, cook it for an hour on 250 degrees, and you just stir it every 15 minutes. Pretty simple. It's nice and easy. But it's something that can be a nice treat, especially in these times when we're all kind of cooped up in the house and we all want to go outside and we're longing to go see other people. But this is kind of our way of bringing the traveling home to us.
Okay, so here is my bowl. I've already added my egg whites here. Now remember, I'm doing a double batch, so this is actually 2 egg whites instead of 1. Now many people wonder, what in the heck am I supposed to do with leftover egg yolks? Honestly, add them to whatever else you would add eggs to. Or you could just save them for the next morning and do scrambled eggs, which is what I did. Now I'm adding in my sugars. This recipe only calls for 1 cup of white sugar. I particularly like to add brown sugar to most of my recipes like this because I like the deeper flavor. And it gives a nice caramelization on top, which I prefer as well. So what I did was 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. Or if you're doing a single batch, just do equal parts of white and brown sugar to your taste. Just added the salt there. Something else that I do as well in this recipe, when it asks for cinnamon, I don't add I think it's one teaspoon of cinnamon. I add a tablespoon. I like to have that really strong cinnamon flavor. It just adds a little bit more to it for me. Now, my brown sugar was a little clumpy this time, so you'll see me kind of breaking those up. My little sugar bears did not do their jobs. I have to redo them. You can see my little Pika. She is just curious kitten here. Anytime I cook, she has to see what I'm doing. I think half the time she wants to lick the bowl. So here I'm just mixing up the sugars and my egg whites. And we're continuing on. I'm just getting the rest of my ingredients here. To get my water that goes in. Once I add that, the rest of this mixture will kind of come together, and yep, there's my water here. It's a whole lot easier. Now, it does look like this will not cover all of your nuts. Trust me, it will. Normally, a single batch makes 1 pound. I have almost about 2.5 pounds, give or take, in my bag. And honestly, it covered just fine. I did even have a little bit of excess in my pan, so don't worry if you feel like it's not going to cover, because it totally will. And all you do at this point is just coat the nuts. Make sure you have your stuff in a big enough bowl so that way you can accommodate all them depending on the size of batch you're making. You want to make sure they're fully covered, so that way everything can get all mixed in and you can get those tasty flavors on every single thing. Once I have this mixed, I'm going to be putting it on a baking sheet. Now, I put it on a jelly roll pan, which is the extra large cookie sheets. I don't remember the exact measurements. But at this point, you'll be preheating your oven for 250 degrees. Yeah, see there, you can see my jelly roll pan. It is well loved. So you heat your oven for 250 degrees. You put this in for an hour. You stir every 15 minutes. If it's not exactly every 15 minutes, it's okay. And this is the final product. Let me tell you, the crunch on this is just so tasty. They will not last long in your house.